they're killing Jason Tatum for not playing, but you can't argue what Durant brings. And then another wise decision was adding White to the unit.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with us today on this Wind Up Wednesday edition, Captain for Life, Will Cotton. Will, what's going on with you, sir? How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Good Sunday. Get ready to hit the week running. So let's knock it on. Do it.
Hopefully you hit the ball straight today. Also with us, academic and athletic consultant for the CKA Save Project, George Hockey. George, hope you watched some Olympic basketball today. How you doing?
I'm good. Back like another blessed. And I did see some of that game. I did see that game.
Yeah. And making his maiden voyage, as Mean Gene used to say, close, long-time personal friend, Alfred Johnson, head men's basketball coach at Vermont State University Johnson, and also the assistant athletic director, coach's coach. Big Al, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
Doing fine, man. Glad to be here, gentlemen.
In segment one, we're going to talk a little bit about FIBA basketball rules as well as the men's side of Team USA. Segment two, we'll talk about Team USA on the women's side. And in segment three, everybody's getting paid, but did they get paid enough? We'll talk about that in segment three. But first, just want to talk a little bit about FIBA Olympic rules. As I've mentioned over the last couple of weeks, the game is 4 10-minute quarters. And as you will see, fans, that 40 minutes goes quick. It's 5 fouls. So you can see the NBA guys complaining just a little more. 24-second shot clock, but the clock resets to 14 seconds. We've got timeout situations. Teams are limited to 2 timeouts in the first half and 3 timeouts in the second half. In the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, however, a maximum of just 2 timeouts can be called, so please keep that in mind. The three-point line is 22.1 feet, so everybody's a three-point shooter except Serbia, yes, on the game today, but that's another story. The goaltending rule is fun. Goaltending exists, but it works differently than the NBA and what you're used to. If a ball is blocked before it hits the rim while in downward flight, that will still be a goaltending under FIBA rules. However, once the ball hits the rim, it's fair game for everybody. All right? So just can't go over all of them, but those are the ones that are going to come into play. So we've got a lot of teams out there. But, George, I'm going to start with you. What's your thoughts on Team USA now that you have seen them play and the return of the Slim Reaper? What are you thinking?
It was much needed. It was much needed for Durantula to show up. I think he gave him a shot in the arm today. My one question is why we're seeing so much of Devin Booker. They keep talking about Devin Booker was great defensively, this, that, and the other. I would play Jason Tatum instead, but that's their call. I like the game itself, especially with a couple of rule changes. The 4 quarters is good. It makes the game go fast. It keeps it going. I think it keeps the game in motion. You don't get I know the players are upset because NBA wise is longer. There's substitution time. Some more guys will get some more run, but hey, it keeps your best players on the court and keeps them going. My one caveat that I have upset with this is that 3-point line is freaking ridiculous because Steph Curry can make that. That's a free throw to him, and then everybody else, it turns everybody else into a jump shooter.
Everybody's a 3-point.
Everybody is, which shouldn't be. So that's my only big thing. But yeah, if in this tournament, if Durantula, LeBron, and Curry show up, they're going to be tough to beat. They're going to be tough to beat.
All right, Will, I got to go to you for this because you have in your career, no hate at all, have had some DNP CDs, and Jason Tatum did not play today. Any thoughts on the firestorm that's going to come over the next couple of days until their next game about Jason Tatum not playing, or any thoughts about Team USA?
It's big about his ego. You know, he has to buy into the actual team. He wasn't needed. You know, he wasn't fitting the skills or what's going on. And KD kind of fit what they were working on in terms of offensively. Um, you know, I wouldn't be too upset. You know, you just had this long season. You just won the championship. You know, a couple of minutes you don't play. I know I would be upset being a young guy, but I wouldn't be too upset. I mean, you know, save your miles, man. We're going to need you. We're definitely going. Not we, but they'll need you in next season. So they're not mad that you're, you know, running up and down. I'm sure the coach and the GM of Boston were like, "Oh, 0 minutes. I like that. Keep
Well,
that
you have
Ferrari in
seen
the
social
garage."
media. You know the internet is undefeated. Man, the memes
Keep the
are just memes, okay? The memes are
hey,
just
keep the Ferrari in the garage. If you don't got to drive it, you don't have to drive it. So
all
You,
right.
you
Hey,
guys are right about that, and that they're killing Jason Tatum for not playing. But you can't argue what Durant brings. And then another wise decision was adding White to the unit. He does one heck of a job, especially defensively. And he's actually a better defensive player than Tatum. Tatum's going to play. He's too talented not to play in the long haul of games. But today, for example, what Durant did is what everyone knows he can do. And then when you talk about Holiday and White together defensively, they proved why this past season they were the best defensive backcourt in the league.
All right.
I'm
So
not going to
go ahead.
argue. I'm about to say one. Tatum's one of the most hated players on the internet there is. Anyway, he plays for Boston. He's pretty. You know he's going to get hated. But my other thing is, I understand that, and they were. But if you're gonna play Booker, I I don't understand. Tatum's a better defender than Booker is. All right, and
I would agree with that.
I would. So why don't Tatum start at the 2 and guard? Because he can guard all 3 positions. Let him
Fellas,
be
y'all
out
talk
there.
about a team that won by like 15, man, and
Yeah,
you're
I am
killing them.
because but I'm going back to the games, the leading games, because we watched Booker get torched for like 2 straight weeks. Am I lying, Will?
we've been talking about it for the last two
So
weeks.
we've been watching Booker not show up. I mean, and let's be honest, everybody on this team is playing a supporting role outside of those three, outside of Curry, Bron, and Durant. Anyway,
That's true.
it happens every year. It happens like that every year. We get to the Olympics. There's always a alpha set, and then everybody else is running behind them. You know, when Kobe was there, LeBron and them were behind him because Kobe was the
Right.
alpha. So
Right.
we know that you have to fit your place, and it comes in times when you get your place to do it. But somebody needs to answer to give me a reason to answer why Devin Booker is even starting. I don't know what the
That's
I'm trying to figure that out.
I honestly think that's the only place you could really put him and be like effective. I think his skill set, even though it's amazing, I think if you're not up 20 or you're, you know, like 15, it's hard to have him into the game. That's why you start the game fast, get shots up. If you catch fire, you can keep him in the game. Now, if he doesn't and he doesn't get well, it's like, okay, well, we tried it again. Let's take him out again. He's a very kind of minute kind of guy. I don't think he's a guy that's going to get the volume of minutes he needs and the shots he needs to be effective in his game. And I think that's kind of, you know, she's struggling with. But, you know, he'll find his hit, man. He'll find it. Everybody finds it. You know, you find a game where it's like, what's going on with Devin Booker? And all of a sudden, he'll have a 35 game against somebody, maybe China, somebody. Who knows? It's still early in the Olympics, so we'll see.
Coach Johnson, I got to go to you. I watched Puerto Rico play South Sudan, and when we talked a little bit about Puerto Rico last week, very briefly, Puerto Rico's kind of an older team, and South Sudan has those young legs, and they run free. What are you thinking about Puerto Rico or South Sudan? Because those are the teams the U.S. has to beat to get out of the opening group stage.
I'm happy for South Sudan. Let me tell you something. Them young boys can play. They're hungry and they get after it. And we have seen, all of us have seen these young African kids come over here looking for an opportunity. That's what these boys are getting on a national stage. And it's going to be more young guys like that getting better opportunities to play because of what's happening now. I mean, they got length, they got size, they got speed, and they're hungry. And that's those four things you can't beat if they're all impacted in one.
All right. So, George, to close us out, I got to go to you for this one. Canada. Coach Galata used to talk about the slide street shuffle. And whenever he talked about slide street shuffle, that's just his way of saying you're not playing with a sense of urgency. Stop sliding the ball down the court. I need you to push tempo.
Mm-hmm.
Canada looked really bored, George. Is Canada as good as I think they are?
Yes. I think that they're enamored with their own success right now. So I think
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think they are. They know they're good. They feel like I'll flip the switch when I need to flip the switch. I think as we start getting in the later rounds and we get to these better games and bigger games, Canada's going to turn it up because they got some athletes. I mean, they got some ballers on that team. So they're going to give. They'll probably be one of the teams that gives the USA their toughest game when they get to it. Now, real quick, going back to that South Sudan situation, they look like they remind me of those old Richard Hamilton Florida State teams where you used to back the bus up and just dump athlete out on the floor, and
that's
they just run up and down the floor dunking on. I'm telling you better be scared.
Man, that's a good point.
You better be scared, Slim, because you don't know. It'd be one of them nights where they get out and there's nothing you can do with them. So that's the sleeper in the Olympics. So that just look out.
Yes.
So with that, fans, in segment 2, we're going to flip to the women's side, and got to mention some comments from Diana Taurasi. We'll be right back on the Coaches Podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Fowler Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams, just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Coaches Podcast. In segment 2, let's talk about Team USA Women. So by the time this airs, Team USA's women's team will have already played their first round game. They start off against Japan, and they also have played Belgium. But there's been a lot of talk, and that talk is centered around whether or not Caitlin Clark should have been there. And at the press conference, it wasn't as overly filled as maybe they thought. Dawn Staley's doing a great job at commentary and mentioned that, hey, Caitlin, when we were picking teams, just wasn't doing this, and now she's playing well. But Diana Taurasi also had something to say about the fact that she's a 6-time Olympian and she's still playing at a high level. So, Will, you get first dibs at this. Any thoughts about the fallout from not bringing Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese to the Olympics?
Not much. I mean, based on what I saw, especially the Olympic introduction they did and everything, the women's team just seemed like they're like it's a friend thing. Like, we're clicking. Hey, we're cool. We've been playing in the league for a minute. We've been here for a minute. We're going through the struggles. Don't get me wrong, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese could have played in this Olympic game, but you can already tell when they're taking the pictures together and we're doing things, it just wasn't going to work on a teamwork side. You could tell they have a lot of animosity towards Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese for having their early success. I'm sure they make a little bit more money than they do coming into the league. But it was just a click thing. Like, it was just like, man, like, have you seen the pictures? A picture when they take the pictures after they took the ceremony and everything. They all look like they're friendly. They're like, man, wait, how's it going? Oh my God, hanging with the NBA players. Like, man, KD. I don't think they would have had that with Caitlin Clark, because she would have been, and so Angel Reese would have been greatly like younger. They're released like 10 years younger. So I can understand why it's like, you're nice, but you're not in the adult table yet. You still gotta grow up a little bit, even though she could have. She like a kid that come at Thanksgiving, they like 16, like they're trying to get a table, and it's like, whoa, what you doing, man? Go back to the kid table. What you doing, man? So that's kind of what it was. She'll get her shine, man. Don't worry. But this is the old dog kind of thing, the last run for them. So I'm not too happy with that. It is what it is.
George, any thoughts on Team USA's women's team as they're in the group play stage?
Yeah, I mean, they put the best team together. Let's be honest. I mean, I don't even know why this is an issue. When the team was being made up, Caitlin Clark nor Angel Reese were playing that game. That you could not say Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese was one of the 12, 14 best players in the WNBA when they put the team together. So why is this even an issue? This is an issue because everybody thinks Caitlin Clark is the world and she's the best player. Well, let me be honest with you. Asia Wilson's the best player in the country, in the world right now. So kill all that Caitlin Clark noise. I mean, I think Caitlin Clark and I think Angel Reese are doing a great job. They're carrying the league. It's going to be their time to lead the country and the team in the next Olympics or whenever. But right now, if I threw them out on the floor, would I rather have Asia Wilson or would I rather have Angel Reese? I want Asia Wilson. Would I rather have Caitlin Clark or Kelsey Plum? I want Kelsey Plum. So you say what you want to. And, Tarazi's got to, people going to bring back because Tarazi said, well, Tarazi's still averaging 18 a game, and she's 40 years old. So she's still going to give them work. And in this short frame with the way the rules are, Tarazi's still going to give them work. And she's been there. She knows what it takes to win. You need her on the team, just like she's going to function like LeBron functions. So that's where I am with that. This is a non-issue that they want to make, that reporters and everybody wants to make it.
All right, Coach Johnson spent a lot of time just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in his coaching career, so he knows Dawn Staley and everything about that. Coach, what are your thoughts on Team USA's women's team? Is this much ado about nothing? What say you, sir?
It really is much ado about nothing. This is a really good put-together team. Both George and Will made great points, especially the point Will made about like Thanksgiving, the little kids table. They weren't ready when this team was put together. They were not ready. Their time will come. Caitlin, like Taurasi, will probably play in 6 Olympics. All right? She may. But right now, this team is construed based on the best 12 players. They're friends, and that helps them. But this team, truthfully, no one in the women's field should compete with this team. They should not be able to compete with this team because it is very well put together. They're also hungry. And I expect them to bring home the gold.
All right. And a good point made, and this is something in terms of the chemistry experiment that our teams. Those young ladies are young. And as somebody, and George can vouch with me, who works in public education with teachers of different levels, how they approach work and how we approach work is different. And sometimes you just want to say, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to go to the after school happy hour. I'm good. I just kind of want to go home. Y'all can hang.
You're doing too much.
Okay.
You're doing too much.
Right.
A lot of noise. All we try to do is grade papers. Everything is not a revolution. We don't need to have a protest about everything. So that's kind of how I'm seeing. Let me get these 2 weeks, 14 days, and I don't care if the news media come. Let's get this last gold medals than y'all can have this mess. That's kind of
Right,
how I'm seeing it.
Uh-huh.
All right. But with that, in segment 3, we're going to talk money, okay? We're going to see the NBA's deal. We're going to see the WNBA's deal. Old man is not getting off my lawn, but I still don't need all that noise. We'll be right back on the Act Coaches Podcast.
The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in advocating for student-athlete, academic, and athletic needs. Through academic and athletic enrichment, the CKA SAVE Project is on the forefront of the issues facing 21st century student-athletes. As student-athletes continue to struggle to find a better balance between academic and athletic success, the CKA SAVE Project offers academic and athletic services to support student-athlete academic success, including academic skills assessment, academic and athletic consulting, academic monitoring, academic and athletic workshops. For more information or to schedule a free consultation, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Yacht Coaches Podcast. And in segment 3, we always say on the show, GTB fans, get the bag. You'll get all the money they want to give you. The NBA signed an 11-year media rights deal with Disney, NBC, and Amazon Prime. Turner Sports came late to the party and tried to match the deal. And the NBA said, not so fast, my friend. Because of the streaming aspect of the Amazon deal, it was not a true match. So now Turner's out. They're suing. There's a lot going on. George, you have been an administrator. You saw the deals coming. You saw that the tea leaves. You knew they was going to Amazon with that streaming package. How are you feeling about the NBA's new deal 7 days a week after football season of NBA action?
Well, first and foremost, I'm gonna say I told you, because if we go back, I said that before. So I feel like it was the best. They did the best thing for them. I mean, right now TNT is crying over spilled milk. Okay, TNT was like that. I think TNT really had their chest pumped out and was saying, "There's no way they'd leave us. We've had years upon years. We got the highest rated show and blah blah blah." What they don't realize is people gonna still watch. I mean, if you've ever watched the NBA game on NBA TV, the coverage is terrible. The commentators are bad for the most part, but you still watch the game. So as long as they put it on, somebody's gonna watch it. And at this point, NBA was like, look, NBA is looking at themselves trying to keep that second spot above baseball, above hockey, and trying to close in on trying to get as close as they can to football. They're never going to catch them, but they said the best way to make money, and this is going to be. And football has already started doing it. They did it last year, and what did we do? We ran right out and we were like, "Who's got this streaming service so I can watch this game Friday night?" And everybody went and got it. So they knew what they were doing. This is a thumbs up. It's a win-win for the NBA. Charles Barkley and the rest of them can go ahead and cry a river because it don't make a damn bit of difference.
But they still gonna get picked up. If they decide, they're probably still gonna get picked up somewhere along the line.
Yeah, well, we know that, but Barkley had to cry the blues. So
all he did was up his offering price.
Yeah. That's exactly what he did.
You're our young guy on the panel, believe it or not. You've got subscriptions and Disney Bundle and Plus and this, that, and the other. What's your thoughts on the NBA and their new deal with their partners, if you will?
Oh, I mean, just like George said, it's for money. But the biggest thing that everybody is not mentioning is that they have Mexico, Brazil, France, Italy, Spain, Germany, and UK now going to be showing their games and seeing them. I mean, that's a whole different realm of fans and money and revenue. And, it'll only start up for a minute before, should we get an NBA team in Europe? Should we have an NBA team in London? It's everything is moving internationally. This whole champions of the world and World Series, and they're starting to take it serious. It's like, well, shoot, why don't we make it a world game? Expand. And you have a couple people who are saying, "Oh well, I love Ernie and Shaq and Kenny," and I'm
I
like,
like
man,
Gordon Soley, but Vince bought
exactly.
TBS.
Yeah, nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. And leave on your top. Don't leave at the as a villain, man. Everyone loves the NBA on TNT guys. They'll always have a place in our hearts. They'll definitely
Right.
just like Marv Allen and NBC previously.
A
He's just one of those guys.
spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
But I think just the expansion of the actual market is something that people aren't even thinking about, which now the game says, all the players, what's his name, Jokic and Giannis and Luka, those guys are from that place. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to expose all kinds of stuff. It's great news. Again, I have all the streaming stuff, so I don't really care why everybody crying. I'm gonna see all the games. It don't matter.
And let me point out, it's not just a young thing to have all the streaming services. I do too. That's how willing I want.
You're a young person too.
Right?
You're a young person too.
Hey, I have Netflix because
Keith.
WWE's going there.
Don't worry.
I have Peacock.
Will and I'll be talking later without y'all Bahamas. It's okay. It's okay.
And my wife and I got all that streaming stuff as well. I can get all the games. Listen, I'm in Vermont and I still get the news in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Keith.
You know what I mean? We got everything.
Al, that's because
Look at these young people.
Al, Keith is cheap. He won't get that. He just
frugal. It is called frugal. So, Coach Johnson, I'm coming to you for this one. The WNBA announced an 11-year media rights deal with Disney, Amazon Prime, and new rights holder NBC Universal. The deal is valued at about $2.2 billion or $200 million per year. However, looking at the revenue, looking at what Caitlin and Angel Reese and so forth are bringing in, did they get undersold, in your opinion? They can get out of this in about 3 years. I think they will. What is your thoughts on the WNBA's deal?
Well, let me tell you, based on the fact they can get out of it in, say, about 3 years, I don't think they got undersold. Right now, I think at least they got money to increase salaries. They're going to expand, and the roster's expanding. I think it's a good deal for right now. I really do. At least they got money to play with. 2-3 years, because in 2-3 years now, from the way it's going to increase. They're going to be able to say, tear this up, give us something new. But at least coming into the door at the table, they got a nice amount to play with.
Well, you know what? My big thing with that is what they have to prove is they can continue to hold this momentum.
That's exactly right.
Coming next year, baby.
I understand that.
Next year and the year before.
I understand that.
Have a good momentum going.
You can say, we can say that and all this. I want to see it happen. And I think this deal is a good.
I do too. It's a good deal.
Yeah, it's a good gap stop as it goes. Yeah.
Will, you got Paige and AZ Fudd coming next year, and Juju's coming in too.
Juju's coming after.
Stay.
Yeah, there's some nice players, but they got to keep it going.
And they got to expand. And the league's going to expand. They get 2 teams next year, and then they get some more. So they got a lot to work. They got a lot of cards up in the air. I think they're gonna do the right thing, and I think it's going to continue. But they just have to do it the right way. But as we know, they're not the best people when it comes to keeping momentum going. So it's always a question mark right there.
All right, so fans, as we close, I've got my Paris Olympic shirt, and it is authentic. It went from the official Olympic shop in Paris. My wife got it.
Got that. And
I love for Coach Johnson to share his information because, yes, they're still looking for players. Coach, our super producer, Kelly, will put all your information on the screen. You've got it. Go ahead, sir.
My email is alfred.johnson, JOHNSON at vermontstate.edu. My office number, 802-635-1470. Right now, I have about 14 young men on my roster. Only one is from Vermont. In our athletic department, we got over 60% of our athletes out of state. I don't care where you're from. If you can play, I need an email or a call. I'm looking for another big, and I need a big-time 2 guard. I like scorers.
All right. So On behalf of our cavalcade of stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. We'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
Thanks, gentlemen.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.